Hey, everybody. Welcome to Studio 7. Happy Victory Monday.
Yeah.
I'm Mercedes Wilson.
I'm Matt Beauvais.
I'm DJ.
You don't go last name.
Last name's long.
You don't go last name.
Long and complicated.
I didn't know if you would say it, actually. I'm glad that you kind of like segued. I didn't know if you would say it or not. Is it supposed to be a mystery, or you just don't feel like
We'll
saying
leave it a
it?
mystery. It's just DJ.
Yeah, I kind of like that,
Watch, I'll
actually.
pop it in. Oh, my name doesn't show up if I pop myself in.
Yeah, no, it doesn't show up.
Oh, we gotta turn the name then.
I kind of like keeping it a mystery, actually. It's a
Yeah.
little bit funnier if people don't really know his true identity, and they're just like,
Oh.
oh, that's DJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down for it.
Yeah, right?
I'm down
It's
for it.
something a little different.
Yeah, it is.
Hype check on Instagram. Follow me.
Everybody give him a follow.
Hype check.
Yeah, for sure.
So everybody is saying Happy Victory Monday.
Yeah,
So we have to talk about the game.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was there.
Yeah. And so is the energy at a game like yesterday with all that snow the same as the energy with no snow?
If they're winning, it's higher. If they're losing, it's worse.
Even with the snow.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think it becomes a party. And I think people enjoy throwing the snow up in the air when they score. I think that the vibes when you're winning a game like that just elevate to a new level. If you're losing, it's miserable. As a team and as a fan base. If you're sitting there and they're losing 21-3 and it's cold and it's snowing and it's just gross outside, there is no place you would rather be than back at home or watching the game on your couch. But when they're winning, it's just like, hey, let's be as crazy as humanly possible. And, you know, what a way to clinch the AFC East for the great season. So the Buffalo Bills are going back to the playoffs yet again. And I'll say this, they're good.
They're really good.
They're really, really good.
They're looking
and I
really
was
good.
not anticipating that. I thought they would be good. I didn't think they would be a team good enough to win the Super Bowl. But this is definitely a team
last
that
night.
can.
Yeah.
They're legit.
What do you think, DJ?
You can't hear when you're where you sit.
No, it's crazy. The perspective is wild. Like, you sit up in the press box, so you can hear faintly things, but you can't hear. You hear. He's a big wrestling guy. You hear pops. You hear. You hear like pops of sound. When there's a touchdown, you hear the pop of the crowd, but you don't hear kind of the before and the after. You hear that the loudest point it gets. You hear that, and then I don't want to give people ideas, but a lot of people turn around and bang on the press box when they're doing well too, and they smash on it. These two guys, they had to be just absolutely annihilated. We're trying to get a reporter from the Buffalo News in the front row of the press box to take a picture of them outside of the press box. She has no idea who these people are. They kept banging on the window, and they're like, "Take our picture, take our picture." So she took the picture and then like held her phone up with her number, and then they texted her to get the number,
is cool.
and then sent them the picture. Yeah, which was funny.
That is cool.
But yeah, no, it's a weird way to watch a game. It definitely takes some getting used to.
Mm-hmm.
The cold weather always seems like it's a quieter, but not really. It's a quieter because everybody's bundled up and they have gloves and mittens on.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, and you're just so cold. So it like doesn't come across as loud as a normal game. I went to 3 games. They were all warm weather games this season, and they were very loud. And then what was it? The Kansas City games sounded. I didn't go to that. It sounded so
Yeah,
loud.
the Kansas City game was loud.
And then watching last night didn't seem quite as loud. But again, I think it's a lot to do with people being bundled up.
Honestly, I think the loudest the stadium has been this year was the Monday night Jags game.
Absolutely,
which is weird because it's such a random game. But the weather was perfect. It was early in the season. Vibes were really, really high. There were moments in that game where there was just, and it was also just the Bills steamrolled them.
Yeah.
So from start to finish, it was just like, hey, we know we're getting this win. We know we're going to be 3-0. The Josh Allen run was the singular,
Wasn't it
probably
crazy?
biggest moment this year inside the stadium, just like the loudest. But the most ridiculous was yesterday, the Josh Allen touchdown, the lateral from Amari Cooper.
Oh, that was
counts
crazy.
as a passing touchdown and a receiving touchdown for
Yeah.
Josh Allen, which is just bananas.
Yeah. So Grace says, I love the way the Bills were frolicking in the snow and even making snow angels after the game.
So, Grace, this is a point that I actually just made. I threw it on our Instagram, WKBW. If you don't follow, go check it out. How was that for a plug? It was a little too subtle. It probably was a little
Check it
too,
out.
It wasn't too subtle. Last night after the game, Sean McDermott, their head coach, and Josh Allen were doing snow angels on the field. It's a fun little moment that is going to get a lot of play on social media, and rightfully so. But I think those moments sometimes peel back kind of the bigger picture of just how much fun they are having as a team.
Yeah,
And
it makes a difference.
And I do think that when you are having fun and you're also really good, you can really accomplish a lot. And I
Mm.
think that, a lot of times vibes gets overrated, and it's like, oh, is there a good vibe here? Is there a bad vibe here? I haven't seen a team like this kind of come together with this level of success since 2020. That was the COVID year. And they went to the
Mm.
AFC Championship and they lost a really tough game to the Chiefs. But, that was the beginning of Josh's career. That was the beginning of Sean McDermott's career. Like,
Mhm.
I think this team is really capable of a lot. And I think those little moments are kind of like the little Easter eggs along the way of like, yeah,
Yeah.
these guys are really close.
Yeah.
They love each other and they're super talented. And I do truly believe that Josh Allen is the best player in football. So when you've got the best player in football and you've got a team around him that is buying in, I think you can be pretty serious.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I have a snow question based on that.
Yeah.
So for those of us that will not go out in the cold for a game,
Yeah.
does that make us less of a Bills fan than the folks that are willing to freeze their butts off?
No, absolutely not. No.
Because I'm like, I was sitting on my heated blanket, watching
Mm,
everybody in the
that's
snow.
I'll take heat for this, but I'm a season ticket holder, and I'm only going to the games that are nice weather. If I'm like cold weather games, I'm like, I don't need to be there. The
think that's
experience at
crazy.
home is it's not just as good. There's nothing as great as being there,
Mm-hmm.
but like the being there for the warm weather, fantastic. As soon as that weather gets around 30 or below, it's like, I don't need to be there.
My thing is, growing up, my dad had season tickets from like 1985 to 1997 or something. And then in 1997, I would have been 5 or 6. And he got rid of the seasons because he said it became such a like production to get to the games. And it is like you got to get there, you got to spend the money to go there. And it just becomes an entire day. And his point was always, my view on the couch is better than my view at the stadium, and I don't pay anything for it.
Right.
So like, I totally understand kind of, why people choose that.
Yeah. Well, I am people.
All right, let's
am people.
Alyssa's over there. You're not as frantically waving for us to go
No,
to break.
she
It
will
was
be in
just
about
like,
10
It
seconds.
was just
so.
like a casual go to break, so I guess we'll go to break real quick. The drive sucked. Can I say sucked? I
Yes.
can say sucked, right? The
Yes.
the drive.
After he said it 3 times,
Yeah,
right?
it on a scale of 1 to suck, it was like halfway. It was because over the weekend, it did not. Did it snow by you?
No.
Did it snow by you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Did it snow by you?
Not even a flake.
Not even a little bit. I cut my lawn on Saturday, and partially I cut my lawn as like a little like jab at all of my friends that don't live in the Northtowns. I'm like, oh yeah, you're snow blowing today. I cut my lawn, but what I did was, so I have a shed, so I took the snowblower out of the shed, and then I replaced it with the lawnmower in the shed, make a trade for the space in the garage. So before I put the lawnmower back in the shed, I cut the lawn, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's like 35 degrees. It's a little bit chilly, but it's not too bad. And then you watch the news and you see all the posts on Instagram and everything at WKBW, and you're like, wow, like there's parts of the area that are getting hammered with snow. And then you drive to the game yesterday,
Yeah.
and it's like a scene out of a movie. You go over the Skyway and you just are driving into the lake effect band of
Wow.
black, and you're like, this is crazy. And then the minute, when you get off Route 5, when it actually goes from like more of like a throughway to like the main road, whatever the road that like Mulberry's is off of, where the plant is.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Is it just Route 5, or is there a name to that?
I'm
road?
I'm saying yeah, but I have no clue.
Is there a
what
name
road
to
you're
Route
talking
5? Just Route 5.
Mm.
It was snow all the way piled to the side, and then it started to get slushy, and there were people. I was like, this is stupid. Like, why are we already doing this? I guess it is December, but it's just like, ugh, I don't want snow.
So, I mean, but we are going to get our share of snow. You know it's coming.
Yeah. I
So,
guess.
so you can't speak too soon.
No, I mean, I feel like that's why I live. One of the reasons I live in the Northtowns, because I want to avoid the snow. That's not the only. I live in the Northtowns because my wife is from Grand Island, and I had no other choice but to live on Grand Island. But we both grew up in the Northtowns, and it's like it's substantially less snow
Yeah,
than you
that's
get
true.
if you live in the
That is
Southtowns.
true. That is true. What
So-
about you? Would you ever move to the Southtown?
I mean, yes.
I mean, Autumn lives in the Southtowns.
Mm-hmm.
it seems awesome. Nothing wrong with it.
In the
snow,
summer.
terrible, yeah.
In the
But
summer.
I feel like Northtowns is the place to be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're biased
We
because
can-
that's where we're from.
Applebee's,
yeah.
Chili's, we got it
Oh
all.
my gosh.
DJ needs
Texas Roadhouse, we
DJ
got it
Oh
all.
my
needs chain
God.
restaurants. He needs Payne's in Northtown, Honda.
Shout out Payne's.
He needs a Ted's close by, and if he's
We
got
got it
that,
all.
then he's just
Oh
happy.
my
Anderson's.
God.
He doesn't
We
need
got
anything
platters
else.
up there.
Oh my God.
My thing is like I feel like there's really good options in the Southtowns for everything, but you get the exact same things in the Northtowns and you get less snow. Like that's just kind of
We'll talk about it
Yeah.
when we have to talk about that. Welcome back to Studio 7. So we have really good conversations during the break. And
I mean, it
what-
depends. If you are Team Southtowns, you probably
Yes.
think it's a terrible conversation.
Yeah.
So let us know if you're watching from the Northtowns,
Yeah.
if you're watching the Southtowns, if you've lived in both, what you prefer. What does that say from Connie? When I stay in Cheektowaga, they got snow. Got no snow either.
Yeah.
Cheektowaga's kind of neither, right? Cheektowaga doesn't count as the Northtowns or the Southtowns.
No, Tony, one of our digital producers, lives in Cheektowaga and said he got hit
Yeah, I
pretty
was gonna
good.
say.
I would say it's like an East Town. Yeah, it's not.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
doesn't count as
It's not a
doesn't
north or
count as
south.
like
it's
Northtown, Southtowns.
no man's land.
So
Yeah.
we have a producer here, Jeff Poth, and Jeff used to tell us. Now it's like a little bit of a slight because we're both from Niagara County, that he does not consider Niagara County the Northtowns. We consider ourselves though the Northtowns
Because we spend so much time in the actual North Towns.
Yeah.
Because Niagara County's not a North Town.
Niagara County's not a
Technically,
No.
North Town, but for us, if you don't live in Wheatfields, there's a preconceived notion that Wheatfield is super, super far out there and super rural. We grew up a couple streets away from Niagara Falls Boulevard
Mm-hmm.
and literally could go out to the boulevard, even on our bikes, and go not that far and get to Erie County. So we were right on the border.
Yeah.
So like that's where we spent most of our time is like Amherst and that whole area. Niagara Falls Boulevard was like where you did everything basically. But yeah, I always consider Niagara County the Northtowns, even though I know technically it isn't. I feel like it's Niagara County and everything north of the city is the Northtowns, and then the Southtowns.
So you've just kind of made your own map.
Yeah, and then in my mind, the Southtowns is everything south of the city, and I'm even saying like the other counties, not just Southern Erie County. I feel like it should cover all of it.
So you're saying you would not move to the Southtowns then?
I don't know. There's parts of the Southtowns that are amazing. Like East Aurora is incredible. My dad is from Elma, like the Elma East Aurora area, and I mean that area is great.
Yeah.
But he moved to the Northtowns. Like it wasn't the other way around. So that kind of told, and you know, obviously you're biased to what you grow up with.
Yeah, it depends.
Where
It depends.
everything is spaced. There's the joke that everything in Buffalo is 20 minutes, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go, it's 20 minutes. But
Mhm.
I feel like Southtowns, everything's like spread out. And we were lucky where we grew up, everything was right there, even though it was still 20 minutes away.
The thing that sucks about Wheatfield, I said sucks again. The thing that's not great about Wheatfield is that it's not easy to get to the thruway. That's the hardest thing about living in Wheatfield.
That is true.
Because it takes you legitimately longer from where
Yeah.
we lived to get to the thruway as it does to get from the thruway to the city of Buffalo or anything like that, which just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I mean, Paul, Southtowns #1. I bet Paul grew up in the Southtowns. Just a hunch. And if you grew
Yes,
up in the
Paul,
Northtowns,
Tell us if you grew up
if
in
you
the
grew up in the
Southtowns.
Northtowns, you would probably say Northtowns are #1.
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong answer. It's just kind of what you prefer.
Yeah. Well, Lori said they got hit hard in Attica.
Yeah, Attica was kind of the first wave, right, Lori? I don't think it got hit bad on the second wave of the storm. I feel like that was earlier on in the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I thought like the band was doing, but I just
Yeah.
pretend to be a meteorologist. I don't exactly know.
I would be a snowbird if I had the choice. I would go away for the winters.
Absolutely.
I don't have the
Oh.
choice. I don't have that choice.
Oh, that is my goal. My
Mhm.
goal is to be 6 months in one day and somewhere warm down the road.
Yeah.
And then the other 5 months and whatever it is back here in Buffalo.
Well, then you have people like Dave here, my dad.
Yeah. Oh, you just gave up your last name.
Yeah,
You
that's the last name.
You
there.
just ruined it.
My dad.
Thanks, Dad.
What? He believes for I don't know why. I don't think he spent a minute in the Southtowns.
Yeah,
other than going to a
Southtowns
Bills
are
game.
fine. I was going to say,
He
where,
doesn't
there's no
know anything
connection
about
with
the
your dad to
Southtowns.
Southtowns.
He said, "Forget it. I'm moving to Atlanta." 'cause
Yeah.
they just wanted to get rid of the.
I
weather
guess Atlanta
altogether.
would be a Southtown.
Right,
Atlanta's
right,
just
right.
a really
Yeah,
Southtown.
south.
Well, Connie said it was beautiful here in Florida. Thanks.
Yeah, I bet it was. I mean, you don't want. You don't. Why couldn't you be a snowbird?
Hmm?
Why couldn't you be a snowbird?
Why? I would love to be a snowbird
Yeah, but you said you can't. Why can't you? I'm not saying right now.
because I don't have the money.
Well, everybody, Let's go buy
Studio
some
7,
relish.
though.
Let's go buy some
Have the
relish.
money. I would absolutely be a
You
snowbird.
got the
if I-
Studio 7 money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have the money yet.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm saying one day you're not going to do it while you're working. Most people aren't doing it then. Most people do it when they're.
If I
getting
could get
ready to
away with it, I
retire.
would.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like if
I
you could
can't.
if you could pull it off working from home or a job where you had the flexibility of
Yeah.
splitting time, that
I would
be,
absolutely be a snowbird.
that would be incredible.
Yeah.
But-
First snowflake, I'm out.
Yeah, my goal has always been you wait until after the holiday because I enjoy the holidays here, and then you leave. December or January 2nd.
Oh, so you need snow in the holiday.
No, but I would want to be by family for the holidays, and conceivably that would be here. So January 2nd. Get through
Okay.
New Year's and then smell you later.
I'm with Peter.
What's Peter say?
GoFundMe page for Mercedes.
There you go. Yeah, if we can get like a certain amount of views on this video, we probably need like 5 million views on this video.
Way more than that.
Way more than
Way
that.
more than that.
Debbie says, I was born and raised in East Aurora. Hello, Matt.
Well, Debbie, if you know any Beauvays in the East Aurora area, that is my family from the Southtowns, and there are still plenty of them down there. However, my dad moved to Wheatfield, and that is where I was raised. My mom was from the Falls. They ended up moving to Wheatfield, and then we lived across the street from each other for our whole lives.
I
And
love
here we
that.
are.
I say
love
one thing about cold weather. How is there anything you know this feeling? Is there anything better than waking up 6 a.m. and it's like 40 degrees and you're going to hockey outlet? I would think about that feeling.
No,
Saturday morning, 6 a.m. hockey outlet. You can't feel your feet.
you know what hockey
20 degrees.
No, I
what
do
hockey-
not know what hockey
Hockey
outlet
Outlet
is.
is a hockey rink on Niagara Falls Boulevard. It used to be called Saberland back when like our parents'
Mm,
generations were growing up, and that's where the Buffalo Sabres practiced. And then it got sold, and now it's just a local hockey rink where
Nice.
you know a bunch of people play, a bunch of youth hockey players play. The best feeling to me was when I was in school, knowing I was going to a Sabres game that night as a kid.
Thinking about that now, how often we did that, it's crazy because as someone, you probably feel the same. You just get home, you just want to not do anything.
Yeah,
And thinking that we went to school all day
and then went to a Sabres
and then
game.
came home back to Wheatfield
Uh-huh.
and then drove all the way downtown for a game and didn't get home till 11 o'clock at night. Just go to the school again in the next morning.
And think about our parents who
nuts.
worked all day and then came home and then took
And then
us to games and then
literally-
had to do all of that. And I know that when I get home tonight, it'll be 8:45. Now, I didn't get home last night until like 3 o'clock in the morning,
That's-
so
yeah,
like it's a
that's
little
crazy.
bit different. But I'll get home tonight at 8:45. I will be asleep with a little help from some melatonin gummies by 9:15.
Hey, so you may have some family here. My mom was a Beauvais.
My mom
We
was
are
a Beauvais. We
cousins.
are cousins. All right, Debbie. I'll see you at the next reunion. All right, we gotta go to break. We'll be right back.
That would be fun, though.
Huh?
She walks up, "Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm your cousin."
I have been. I'm fine. I've had like a little bit of a cold the last couple days,
Mhm.
buddy. I'm gonna drink NyQuil when I get home. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Now the real stars of the show get to take over.
Did you hear that, Beauvais? He said now the real stars of the show get to take over.
Yeah. Yeah, what are we talking about here?
So we can talk about whatever. Do we want to talk about
Oh, there's
everything? We didn't talk about anything.
Are video games a waste of time? Who the F came up with this stuff?
I'm quite sure you can't say that.
We're on Facebook. We're not on TV.
Oh, okay.
The
What? I was saying help me. We could do that. We could do holiday.
What time does
stretch.
this show actually end? When do we are we
7 minutes. This last segment, or probably a little less than 7, right?
57 even?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you see one you like?
Scoot in closer.
So what are you thinking? What are you liking?
I don't know.
Are you a gamer?
I am a gamer. I play a lot of games.
Yeah. I don't know how much help I'd be. I'm not a gamer at all.
Let's talk about
Ooh, Cyber Monday. Did you do any shopping? We can talk about that. What were you gonna say though? Don't say Disney.
talk about seasoning our food.
Oh, we can do that. We can do that. You want to talk about seasoning food?
I could go for some good recipes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you cook?
do I cook? I'm like
I mean, you're a very
Iron
picky
Chef.
person.
You should see what I'm cooking
I
up.
feel like you're joking.
Maybe. Maybe. I'm an Iron Chef.
Oh
Iron
my
Chef
g-
America. You know what? This is funny.
What?
You said we got 1 minute. You know what the best TV stuff is? Food
What?
Network.
Well, I can agree with that.
Do you find it ironic, as someone as picky as I am,
Hmm.
I don't eat anything. I
Right.
don't try anything.
Right.
Not adventurous at all.
Right?
But Food Network, great shows. I could watch it all day.
But you won't eat it.
Everything they make looks terrible.
What?
Like, we'll keep talking about this.
Welcome back to Studio 7. Okay, so over the break, DJ and I were deciding what we wanted to talk about, and you said seasonings like you eat any food that anyone makes.
So I don't eat anything. But this, so what we were what we were talking about,
Hmm.
I am an extremely picky eater. I like to say I eat the good foods, which are like hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken fingers,
Do you see
chicken
the look
wings,
on my face, friend?
pizza, the good stuff. We got
So
stingers,
chain food,
the
chain restaurant.
Ted's, Jim Steakout. You take me to one of these places, and I'm just gonna hammer it all day. The good stuff. You ever have a stinger?
No, I've never
Stop
had
it.
No, I've
You've
not. I've never had a stinger.
Stingers are great. Do you know what a stinger is?
I do not. Is it chicken?
Mercedes.
Is it a chicken sub?
Steak and finger. That's where you get stinger from.
Oh,
Steak and finger. So
okay.
it's
So you
it's a
probably get that
cheesesteak
from,
with chicken finger.
from like Jim
from
Steakout.
Jim's. Literally everyone makes them. They're
I
fantastic.
don't do Jim Steakout.
And I would like these places. There's so many places like that are so great. And then you leave Buffalo and you realize how much you miss it. Because if you go anywhere else, you don't have all these amazing
You
places
know
that
what?
just serve incredible fried foods.
I agree. I agree. And I'm going to disagree with you because we do have the best food, in my opinion, in Buffalo. But there's so many mom and pop restaurants. You're talking about all chain restaurants.
No, because every pizza, like local chains, I guess maybe.
Okay,
Like
Jim
Jim's, a local
Steakout
chain.
is not a local.
And like most pizza places, like
Pizza Hut.
might have no
Little Caesars?
Stop it. We're not talking about it. What are you? You deserve to be banned from this show. We have look, Connie gets it.
Yes, she says DJ. Exactly.
Yeah, like the pizza places, no, all kinds of different pizzas, subs. They just don't exist anywhere else.
Correct. I agree with
Um,
that.
So we are very fortunate to have what we have. Like it is, you can't even explain it. You go. So my whole family has moved down to Atlanta. You can't explain to someone in Atlanta what it's like here. It's like how many McDonald's do they have down there is like how many pizza places we have. So we probably have more pizza places here.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because, and you talk about where do you get chicken wings from? You can go to any place and the wings are it's hard to find a bad chicken wing here.
It is hard to find a bad chicken wing. And I do agree with you because my son moved to Texas and he's like, Mom, I cannot get any good pizza and wings anywhere.
Then you're eating the Pizza Hut and
Yeah,
all those
anywhere.
Papa
Yep.
John's.
Yep, I agree. And I have a friend in South Carolina. She goes, I haven't had good pizza since I moved away 5 years ago.
Right. I lived
So I
in South
agree with
Carolina
you.
for 2 years. It was tough. Like
But I think there are still other mom and pop shops besides pizza and fried foods. And the food on the Food Network looks fabulous.
so we're talking about now that you have the backstory that I don't eat anything besides the good foods. For some reason, growing up, I wanted to be a chef so bad, and I would watch Rachel Ray,
Mhm.
like
Of course.
oh the best.
Mhm,
She's the
mhm,
goat at every cooking show ever.
Yeah.
Watching her, and I'm like, I don't know, I was fascinating just by like the action of cooking, like preparing, cooking, all that stuff. I would come home from school. I was probably like 12. I'd come home from school and just sit there and watch cooking, and it was just incredible. But none of it looked good. I didn't want to try any of it.
Do you ever cook?
What's your definition of cook?
Bring food home from the grocery stores.
I've never. Bobé just said, "Ask if you like soup." I've never had soup in
You've
my
never
life.
had a soup?
I have
Like
never.
chicken noodle soup?
I've never had soup. I'm gonna speak to this camera here. Let me actually here. We're gonna do this.
Why have you
I'm
never had
talking
soup?
to this camera. I've never had soup
Why?
in my life.
Why?
Although
Is
I
it a
have had.
personal
Let me
choice?
tell you this though. I have had many years ago. Subway had a
Oh
This is-
my gosh.
Subway
Oh
had a potato soup,
no. DJ.
and I had
And
had
he's
that-
saying this
and
out loud.
Listen to this. It was the greatest thing. It was literally just mashed potatoes. I don't know how they called it a soup. It was good. It was just mashed potatoes in a cup. So Subway, bring that back. That was probably 10, 15 years ago at this point. The stuff would blow your mind though. Like, never had soup. I don't eat pasta. I don't eat really any, like I said, not adventurous. I've eaten way more now than I ever did.
I'm silent because I'm in shock.
Because you eat everything, right?
I mean, there's a
What
few things
don't
I
you eat?
don't, but
What
I
do you
mean,
stay away
I
from?
can't think of what I don't eat now. You know what? I don't eat a lot of chain restaurants. I don't. Like if my family
When's the
orders.
last time you've been to one? Probably years.
Oh no, it hasn't been years. But like for example, my family, like my husband, texted me earlier and said he got Popeyes. I won't eat any of it. Occasionally, I might eat a biscuit
What
and
are
put a
you
little
not
honey on
eating
it.
Popeyes?
I don't eat Popeyes. I don't
little
eat Burger
honey.
King. I don't eat McDonald's.
Oh.
I don't eat any of the. I just don't, unless it's like locally owned mom and pop, because we have so many.
Oh, they're everywhere.
And I love cooking, and cooking from scratch because that way I know what's in it
You-
and I can season it.
when you cook from scratch, are you like literally making everything? Because that also blows my mind. There's like different types of.
Yeah.
I'm big into like YouTube cooking culture and different people on YouTube who make stuff. And it kind of blows my mind when I watch them and they're like, we're going to put a barbecue sauce on this burger and we're going to make the barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
get that crazy?
Yes. Like if I do sandwiches and stuff, sometimes I make my own breads. Like I'm that person. I
You
like to do it
make
from
your own
scratch.
bread
Yeah.
for the sandwich.
Yeah.
Like that. See, that's next level. The cooking I do is like quesadilla. Put chicken in the oven. Peanut butter and jelly. Excellent choice.
That's my husband's first choice: peanut butter and jelly with bananas.
Jelly. I mean, I could put a steak on the grill with a little salt and pepper.
I am so glad this show is almost over. I'm so glad
Oh, this is
because
great.
DJ. Oh, we're gonna have a great
is
conversation
great.
after this. This is fabulous. Thank you for joining us on Studio 7. We have to have you back to talk more food.
This is good.
Yeah.
We'll continue this.
Have a good day.
Yeah. No, we should.